Fishermen in Eyemouth are warning that plans to ban all fishing in a tenth of Scotland's seas could wipe out their generations-old industry.
The First Minister has promised that highly protected marine areas designed to help tackle the climate crisis and restore marine wildlife won't be imposed on communities that don't want them.
Critics, though, say they're not convinced the restrictions won't put them out of business. Matty Sutton reports.
Trevor Spouse's family has worked out of Eyemouth Harbour for generations. His son Kai wants to take over the business, fishing for langoustines. But his dad says he's no longer sure what the future holds.
It's a hard life. It's you can go long spells without money. But he was keen to go to the fishing. He wanted to do it, so hopefully it might get better, but if these HPMAs come in, I really don't see any future.
Do you think you might be the last of your family then?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
The Scottish Government's plan is to ban human activity, including fishing, in a tenth of Scotland's coastal waters. The First Minister has promised these highly protected marine areas, or HPMAs, won't be imposed on communities who are against them. But some here say there's still too much uncertainty.
10% of the North Sea is a massive area. You know, pretty much they can close the whole inshore 3-mile fishing right round to the west coast of Scotland as well. And that's probably the final nail in the coffin for us fishermen. That would finish us. We don't even know where these areas are proposed for.
A consultation on the plans has just closed, and work is now underway to identify the most suitable locations. Environmental campaigners say the seabed is degraded, and there's evidence no-take zones do help restore wildlife, a view backed by the SNP's partners in government.
They are absolutely essential. If we want a fishing sector 20 years from now, 30 years from now, 100 years from now, then we need HPMAs. They're not going to cover all of Scotland's seas. It's 10%. That's what we're asking for. And the evidence is there. I mean, HPMAs are in place across the world. They're not new.
We know we're facing this climate emergency, and HPMAs are one way to try and address that. Why do you and your members feel that's not the way to go?
We don't feel that they are going to address it. We feel it's a purely political trade-off for the Bleak House Agreement. They're putting power before people and prosperity of the people.
Plans for a pilot scheme further down the coast around Holy Isle were dropped earlier this year, but others are going ahead in England. This area here at St Abbs already has rules in place to protect wildlife and their habitats, but it only covers a relatively small area, and fishermen are still allowed to catch certain species. John Affleck, like his father and grandfather, has fished from Bournemouth since childhood.
It's been a way of life, and the harbour, you know, and just not to see a fishing boat in Bournemouth Harbour would be devastating to me, you know, because I had a first little boat when I was 12-year-old.
To avoid losing the skills learned in this harbour over generations, and to give nature a fighting chance, the Scottish Government will have to find a way to get all those who see a future for Scotland's seas on board with their plans. Matty Sutton, ITV News.